it just breaks the norm and is able to get attention better than normal. So if you're
Uh,
looking at somebody's timeline and you're saying, hey, like there's lots of things happening all the time. What is the thing that's going to break through the noise? And doing an event where you have lots of amazing speakers is the thing where it's like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to choose to spend my time somewhere, I'm going to spend it where I'm going to get all of this information versus maybe just one topic or one idea. So it helps you stand out against the crowd.
Hello, everybody. It's Fernando Labastida once again. This is another special edition of the Viral Genius podcast, the speaker preview interviews for the Strike Marketing Summit. It's my pleasure and honor to have Darrell Vesterfelt today. He is speaking about why most startups launch to crickets and how one summit can fill your pipeline overnight. He has experience launching massive summits, one that got up to like 100,000 registrants and participants. Darrell, how are things? How is life finding you today?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
All right, perfect. So, you know, little preview, obviously, for the audience. Don't want to give away the farm here, but tell us a little bit about what you're going to talk about, and kind of like the experience that you had organizing, these huge summits as a way to launch initiatives, products, companies.
Yeah. So at this point, I've done hundreds, if not, I mean, dozens, if not hundreds, maybe even more webinars and summits and live events. And I have seen it work really, really well. Anything from just using organic content to spending a lot of money on paid ads. And what I've learned, Fernando, uh, it is my favorite. I don't know if it's the best way. It's my favorite. It's the way that has been most helpful for me in filling the top of funnel for whatever type of company it is that you might be launching, or whatever type of product it is that you might be launching. And we've done this for creator-led businesses that are courses or coaching. We've done this for SaaS companies and startups. We've done these for physical products and goods. Anything where you want to gain attention around your product or service. We've done this for agencies as well and service companies. It's one of the most fun ways of generating a ton of buzz and a ton of excitement and a ton of leads for whatever it is that you're doing. And so I've done them at large scale. The largest that I was a part of was 180,000 people registered. I've done them at small scale, where we've had just a couple hundred people registered. But the reality is, it's a really great way to put leads into your funnel for whatever it is that you're doing. And I've had a lot of fun and success doing it.
Okay, so I wanted to get into a little bit about your experience with some of the various ones you do, but I wanted to ask you first, why is it such a powerful method of creating buzz and generating such a big pipeline in one fell swoop? Like what's the
I think
yeah.
I think two things for sure. Number one is it's it just breaks the norm and is able to get attention better than normal. So if you're looking at somebody's timeline and you're saying, hey, like there's lots of things happening all the time. What is the thing that's going to break through the noise? And doing an event where you have lots of amazing speakers is the thing where it's like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to choose to spend my time somewhere, I'm going to spend it where I'm going to get all of this information versus maybe just one topic or one idea. So it helps you stand out against the crowd. Um, and the second thing is it adds so much value. So one of the things that I love when people say it's like, I just want to overwhelm with value. And this is one of the things that like every time I do a summit, one of the driving forces is I want people to say, if they give us this much value for free, what happens when I pay them money? And so it gives you an opportunity to add a ton of value. So it's not the easiest way to drive leads into your funnel, but it is a way where you can stand out and you can drive an overwhelming amount of value for people. And that's the outcome that you want is you want people to say, if they do this for free, what happens when I pay them money? And so those two things make it, in my opinion, one of the best ways of adding people to.
I mean, that's the classic reciprocity lever in the, Robert Cialdini's six steps for persuasion, right?
Yep.
And it's funny because you talk about summits being a way of overwhelming people with value. That was actually almost exactly the same feeling that I got just reading Copy Blogger. I knew you were a Copy Blogger partner for a while, which, when Brian Clark was starting, this is not related to summits, but it's the same principle, right? He provided so much value through Copy Blogger that I was like, I have ended up spending thousands of dollars with the Copy Blogger, but the concept I think is so universal, but so perfect. So tell me about some of the most notable product company, initiative launches that you've done with summits.
Yeah. So, the largest summits that we've ran are for a company called School of Traditional Skills that I helped co-found, and I was just a part of the team that helped get those out into the world. I was the head of marketing there for a while. I co-founded it with a couple named Josh and Carolyn Thomas. We've done some amazing summits to launch that product out in the world, and then
Yeah.
I'm currently the VP of growth at Mighty Networks. And we have done a lot of summits at Mighty. In fact, they just did one last Thursday. We did one earlier this year in January, where we had more than 10,000 people register for that event. We did a creator summit this summer where we had, again, over 10,000 people register for that event too. And so that's very different. It's like homesteading content for courses and community, and then for a SaaS company and a SaaS product. And so, again, I've done them in all kinds of different ways. I've ran summits on my own for my own newsletter to grow my own newsletter
Mhm.
as well. So, I've done them in a wide range of places.
Right, perfect. Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned, as being the VP of growth for Mighty Networks. There's going to be a lot of people in the software space I think will be very attracted to that model or to that example specifically. Now, you also said that you've had summits that have had like only 100 people show up. When you compare numbers like 180,000, even the 10,000 that you got at Mighty Networks to, maybe just a few hundred, 500, whatever, is that considered a failure, or is it just a matter of scope, a matter of, what is it that you're promoting, et cetera? What can we consider success versus failure?
Yeah, I think success is like, first of all, understanding the end goal. And so, the ones that I've run that are only a couple hundred, part of the goal was to not spend a bunch of money on ads because we didn't have money to spend on ads. And so that was like, it was a way that I could leverage my personal network, or I could leverage the network of whoever I was working with into something more compelling than just like, hey, I'm selling this thing. Right. And so it was a way to gather attention, gain attention. So part of the end goal was like, hey, we don't have thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars a budget to get a lot of people there. But it was a better way of leveraging our network or our newsletter or email list to activate them towards buying. And so success isn't about the number of people that you pull in. Success is really about, are you hitting that end goal? And so for some of those smaller ones, the end goal was just to get a client or two. And that was a way better way of doing it than any other opportunity I had. Some of them were just to grow the email list. And so they were better ways of hitting that end goal. And so I'll say I've had summits that have had tens of thousands of people registered that have been a failure, and I've had summits that are 100 or 200 people that have been a wild success. And so it's really about just identifying and being clear about that end goal, and then creating a system that sets it up for success as much as possible.
That's fantastic. That's great. Well, Darrell, thank you so much. Again, what your talk is going to be why most startups launch to crickets and how one summit can fill your funnel overnight. You are currently scheduled to be the closing keynote on Thursday, the 11th of December at 5 p.m. Now, I say currently scheduled. Hopefully, no changes will come. Any new speakers, etc. But you already have that on your calendar, and please come and register. Summit.strikemarketingsummit.com, and we will see you there.